Happy Wednesday and welcome back to the Wolff Den. I'm Matt Wolff, founder of Ticket Time Machine. Today we welcome Nick Schell to the Wolff Den. Welcome. How's it going?
Hey, Matt, thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.
We're going to talk sports, gambling, AI, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So for those people who don't know who you are, give a quick intro.
Yes, I am the co-founder of BTA Sports. We are a machine learning AI sports predictions company. Think of every alternative line in sports having odds that you can take to the sports book. We give you probabilities of each one of those outcomes happening. Think of us as a stop, plan, and think before you go and you take that dopamine hit of making a bet off gut. And I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, so gambling is obviously a huge business. It always has been, but in recent years with sports gambling, it's just kind of taken off in a crazy way, whether it's just gambling on the games or fantasy sports. You can't watch anything on ESPN without them referencing the gambling odds and all of that stuff. And, and even have their own show on gambling on ESPN, which is crazy to me. Not surprising, we saw some gambling, stories and
Sure.
fraud and all of that stuff. Some trouble with gambling. We'll talk about that as a whole. But how did you decide that this is what you wanted to get into?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, those are probably the casinos pushing those stories. There's not really, any companies out there that actually plan around the data. When I was in finance previously to starting BTA Sports, there's been information around the stock markets forever. So there's Merrill Lynch and all these companies that can plan. Stock market's gambling. It is gambling. You buy a stock, you could lose all your money. Interestingly enough, when I was placing people in private equity over when I was in my previous job, it just got me thinking there's really no planning service around the sports betting markets. And with sports tech and the industry being so new, my partner and I decided to go all in and create like a responsible gaming company where data, is sort of surfacing, through AI, and then the user controls the risk. And what we found out is if you build a profile, just like, if you build a financial planning profile, and you stop, you plan, you think, oftentimes you can create habits that, will help you win. When I was seeing those ESPN commercials, I was seeing those DraftKings commercials, and I was seeing, that one person on Instagram that won that plus 10,000 bet, but the million people that place bets and lost, like they don't advertise them because they build casinos with losses. So, and I don't have anything against the casinos, but it's an unfair advantage. And now the data is so rich and it can tell such a great story that you can plan around it. And that's what we're doing. We're doing, complex financial planning models are sort of the foundation behind, BTA Sports and how we present the data to the user.
Yeah. So explain actually how it all works, because you guys are not actually taking any bets. You're just giving information.
Yeah, we have models that present basically a BTA lines for every sport. So think of Major League Baseball. You have a run line at 1.5. Our line is going to be a spread between the winner and the loser. So if it's Tampa Bay over New York Yankees 7-2, the line in the game is 5. So inside our app, you can start creating, bets that live between our lines and Vegas's lines. And with those alternative lines, every single alternative line has an odd, and every single alternative line also has a probability of happening. So if you have a 75% probability of Tampa Bay to win or to cover the run line at plus 1.5, you might put that into your risk analyzer. And we have this tool called the risk analyzer inside the app where it's all provisionally patent pending technologies where you can add legs with parlays, and it gives you, you've seen it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it gives you the probability of those parlays coming true or becoming, becoming successful, and then it gives you the option to bet sync it rate the FanDuel. So when you create those parlays, you get, let's say you have a 65% chance with plus 130 odds, you can literally export that rate to FanDuel. And if you create a 65% chance of winning a bet every single time in our BTA risk analyzer, you will win. I mean, the data is there. I mean, we publish our data. All you got to do is go to our Instagram page, and we're very forthcoming with being transparent because, again, we're a responsible gaming company. We're just getting the data to the user.
Yeah, and you said partner with FanDuel. I'm wondering why, if you guys win at a rate whatever, why is FanDuel interested in that?
Well, no, we're not partnered. We have a bet sync inside our app, which we sort of not really reverse engineered, but we like our risk analyzer has a button where you can export it right to FanDuel. So there's no partnership there, but with the betting companies right now and the state that they're in, especially in the state of Pennsylvania and all of the lawsuits, again, if I were the casinos or if I were someone that, and we do have a very good relationship with Bet Parks Casino, but we're driving engagement there. I mean, we're not coming in as a competitor. We're coming in as there's a new age. Data is going to be very much present, especially with this younger generation. They want to have, for the first time, I was talking to Thomas Rosenbaum at Bet Parks Casino. He runs the sports book. For the first time ever, the amount of people that are betting inside the sports book and online are about the same. And what that's telling me, at least, is that people want to be in the sports book and they want a handheld in their hand. They want to be at both. And right now, the sports book industry, it's just like, it's dead. I mean, you go in there, it's like a 1995 movie theater. It's all dark, it's dingy. There's the same crew that's hanging out, and like it doesn't really cater to that 21 to 25-year-old crew that like really is going to be dominating the sports bettors market in the next 5 years. And they love it because we actually show people the app. Bet Parks Casino has been very, 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 very gracious to us. They allow us to talk to their bettors. We show them the app. You can actually bet sync rate the FanDuel inside of Parks because they have a partnership with Parks. So the only casino that's not geo-restricted inside Bet Parks is FanDuel. So our app works really well inside Parks Casino, and we're not here to compete because we're doing something completely different. This is a new technology.
I get that it's not competing, but is there any data to show how well the people using your app at Parks is doing? Because at some point,
that's new. We have data behind our performance in the models.
Yeah.
Like we are at 60+% on every line against the spread and alternative line. This was published on our Instagram page maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. And if you bet $100 on every single bet, you're up like 88,000. Like it's literally,
it's great. Is that sort of like the blackjack model? Like if you play by the book enough, you'll win, but you have to play long enough and with enough money, right? Because at some point it could be 65%. It just, some people could really stop because the first bid is a dive. Is it that sort of situation?
I don't think so. I mean, we're at the end of the day, like we're letting the data tell the story the way that we think is really cool. And we're not like our skin in the game is really to help and educate. So beyond like even being able to sync the FanDuel and have all those cool technologies, like you can even listen to the data in that feature I was showing you before, where like every single game inside our app has a playable sort of 45-second audio component that tells you the best edge. So like if you can't interpret it, because look, when you're looking at lines and I'm telling you to live between the BTA line and the Vegas line, there's going to be people that are like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. And there's going to be people that are like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Then when you open up our app and you press play, it'll literally say like Christopher Sanchez, there's a good chance he might go over 6.5 strikeouts. Here's why.
Yeah.
And, so it gives you the reasons why, because that's our data telling the story. So not only does it tell a story when you move the line and you control the risk inside the app, but it also, literally and look like audibly tells you the story. So it's like, I have a 17-year-old son, and if he's not like scrolling, he's watching. If he's not watching, he's listening. Yeah. I mean, these kids have no attention span. So sometimes they just like a play button that tells them what to do. And this is the next generation, and it's dangerous. Like if you don't have the tools to help them plan and to help them really understand the data, because I mean, you're in the sports tech world. You and I know like what's going on with tokens, and these kids are like 18 years old and betting real money with tokens. Like this is, I mean, it is a very slippery slope if you have that, itch to bet. And we're just trying to provide the data in a way that, is responsible to the user. So that's like, I don't think like I was literally on a call with the governor's office yesterday. That's a true story, Gavin. And it's the same story. It's responsible gaming. And that's a really big push, because you can like pull the hood up anywhere in our company, and responsible gaming is at the core of the mission.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But I do think gambling is a huge problem in the way that drinking and smoking is, and all the people who are offering it are saying gamble responsibly, drink responsibly, cigarettes are bad for your health, as they're still pushing it, with billions of dollars of advertising as you see it. So, sure. I think, if you do the best you can to try and shut someone down, I don't know. I would think there should be limits. Obviously, this has nothing to do with your side of it. I think there's probably some things you can do. I don't think they really care if someone loses everything. Sure. I mean, it's just the people who are heavy gamblers and keep gambling. They want to have that, but to your point, having everything try and be transparent and being able to see where everything came from. You're sharing information. It's there's a lot of people who are professional gamblers who are sharing their information and their picks. Who knows where they're getting that information from? Maybe they're getting it from you now, but in the past they were. I was always leery of someone who's trying to tell you who to bet. It's like, well, if you could do that.
Well, I think to that point is like, how are they getting their information? And it's like, are they giving gut? Are they giving instinct? And some people are really, really good. I mean, and two, like, I think to kind of layer in a point there, the problem is the bottleneck in our industry, the sports tech industry, is talent. The industry is so new. It is so new that the best in talent are like the 25-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old engineers that come out of schools like Carnegie Mellon and Syracuse, period. And these are kids. So this isn't like this isn't an industry. And and what I'm hearing from your side, and it's totally, I hear it all the time, is I think this is a misunderstood sort of category of the sector because it's so new. But yeah, I mean, the lean teams are sort of like ours are able to do some really, really cool stuff. And the data is so powerful. And it's like we're creating our own narrative as we go, because, any way we want to present it, we have the team to be able to just do it. So, we're just bringing data, surfacing data, and then having, the user, like I said, sort of control how they use the data. And it's an environment that engages the user and brings them back. And then, with this next community component that we're going to be adding with the socials and everything, and you can have the user profile and connect with friends. It's just layers of engagement, with data that helps you win. And yeah, there's going to be people that use our data and they're going to lose. Like I don't, because human nature is human nature. I know that, someone's going to go to the blackjack table and bet all, on a hit on 13.
Even the most, the best, smartest, predictors of sports, they can't,
no doubt.
They don't do, even without the spread, you start, I play in a football thing and you're like, it's very hard to pick games. And that's why Vegas
But there's also reasons why there's poker players that win every single time they play, because it's the only game you're not playing against a house. So what we're doing, and we're providing the data behind the same data that poker players use that know.
And even then with the poker, they're relying on the other people to not, if they don't play, it's like blackjack, they don't play by what the rules were, what you're supposed to do, or what the numbers say. Sometimes you win. You go against the numbers. Sometimes you win. Vegas is actually like strikingly good at getting lines at things. Like when you see something come down to 100, like the points, 1 point, one shot, it's like, it's crazy how good they are. Now that they're wrong, way wrong, plenty of times, because that's just the nature of sports. But how close they get to the majority of these things is crazy.
That's why they have like a stranglehold right in the middle, and then the seesaw is like they don't care about it, because the middle is what they control, and that's the VIG, obviously, like it's the same thing in poly markets. Like the outcome doesn't matter. If you're controlling the market, it just doesn't matter, because you're getting paid no matter what. So it's, and data is powerful. There's ways that you can take advantage of data. There's ways that you can be transparent with data. And look no further than, the lawsuits right now in the state of Pennsylvania. You can just Google that, gambling. We're just providing data, and that's all we're doing. And it's really cool in a way that, that bottleneck talent, comment I made before, like we're backed by academia. Carnegie Mellon, we just finished up a capstone project where they did a sentiment index on player performance in the NFL. And they just presented their findings on April 28th, I think Tuesday, or whenever last Tuesday was. And, it's validating that we're getting partners. The birthplace of AI is Carnegie Mellon, and Carnegie Mellon was one of our first partners. Syracuse University, Falk College of Sport, Francesco Reverso, one of our partners. And they all sort of started at the finish line like us, and everyone's like, you're crazy. Carnegie Mellon's teaching a responsible gaming class right now to undergrads.
What does that mean? Talk about responsible gaming. What do you consider
responsible gaming? Think of everything is like, from what I understand, and I could be way off, like a lot of things are being tokenized right now. And tokens, if you are 18 to 21 years old, like you could bet through tokens. I don't know, maybe they convert to cash. Like I just don't know. But what Carnegie Mellon saw was a problem with these undergrad students betting all the time. They were like younger than 21. And rather than I don't know what the motivation was, but because I can't speak for Ron Yurko, who's like the head of sports analytics over there, but they decided to teach class on responsible gaming, to teach kids like, hey, like this is going to be a major issue. Like use the data, use everything that you have at your disposal to create an edge and to help you win, because that's all you're doing in any phase where you're planning around something where it's pure gambling. I mean, you try to get as much data on it as you can, and then you try to get an edge, and then you try to plan around that edge. It's no different than in financial planning. I used to manage a lot of money, and I would tell my clients, you have an 80% probability of achieving your retirement income need goal. You have an 80% probability of the Cubs covering +1.5. And we have the data to back it up.
Tell you the difference between that and one of the things that the big problem I find in gambling and is that with finance, you have money and you can do it. With gambling, a lot of times you're betting with money. People are betting with money they don't have. And it's so easy to just click that button. I was at the Kentucky Derby last weekend.
Yeah.
And they had
a great outfit, by the way.
What was that?
So I saw it was a great outfit.
Oh, thank you.
I saw it, dude. I liked it on LinkedIn, I think.
Appreciate that. It was, we got some good, got someone who actually recognized, who knew me as Ticket Time Machine, and then So pretty good pub wearing it around. But you can bet online actually at the event. And I'm not an online bettor. I don't download apps because it's too easy for me to push a button to do that. I
Yeah,
need a ticket in my hand, and so for me, it makes me a little bit more responsible of a gambler. But that's that's the way it is in apps, and anyone can have access to these apps and gamble. And
it
that's
can't get more dystopian than betting on your phone. And I agree. It's like crazy. Like, and even the apps where you can bet the jewels and everything, it's even crazier. And it's like go to a casino, but people love to do it, and there's going to be a need for it. And even you don't have to have a ton of money to plan around something. And like that's the difference between the financial markets and this. Like to get my services at Merrill Lynch, I would offer you at like 1% of your portfolio. For here, it's a fee that most people can afford. And this is like, and it's standard for everyone. And you're not going to pay more than, Joe who downloads it down the street. And everyone's going to get the same data, and everyone controls it differently. And it's powerful because it's it is the same model, and it's very, in my opinion, it's scalable. Like it is, because it brings people back, and like engagement. I just found if you just add layers of engagement, it's the same, premise with trying to get, your videos for longer than 3 seconds on your algorithm. You just have to have layers of engagement. And inside the app, we have that. I think if I'm not wrong, we have like 9 clicks inside our app for every new user.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like meaning people are actually using it.
Yeah, we don't like when I start talking about. I mean, it's a gambling conversation because that's sort of where you guys are at.
Yeah,
but it's completely different. It's like gambling isn't going anywhere. I have bad thoughts about it, good thoughts about it, whatever. It's just you're helping the people who are going to do it anyway do it responsibly and hopefully help them understand or enjoy it more or whatever it is. So is as we talk about some of the downsides of the gambling world, it's not really relevant to what your company's doing, but it's just part of the general conversation.
It's a stigma, and it's going to be there, and it's very like sensitive to people. Like I have well, I was about to disclose. No, I have people in my family who are like addicts, gamblers, and it's very sensitive to me. And it's not a topic that many people want to broach, where when you do have people in your family that are gamblers, like it is a very sensitive subject. It's almost like an alcoholism or any type of addiction. But at the end of the day, it is legal, and kids are betting. They're finding ways to bet. Kids are even younger than 21. I have a kid that's 17 years old and loves all of this stuff. Like, and I see it. And, it is like you said, it's going to happen anyway. And, like at the very core of everyone like at BTA Sports would tell you the same thing. It's just, we present data, it's responsible, period. It's not like militarized. It's fact. Like it's everyone, like it's just a fact.
It's interesting about that. Like I play the lottery once in a while, but the lottery is really the only gambling that you can't put on a credit card. You need to go cash and put it. I mean, can you imagine what people would be buying when it's 300 million?
It's funny because
on a credit card.
Yeah, it's like how it's don't even get me started with interest rates. Yeah.
What do you think the gambling world would look like if it was cash only everywhere and there was no credit card? You can only put gambling in cash.
I think there'd be a lot of stacks of cash at the casinos. A lot of ones. That would be like be like my back alley poker games in college. They're actually fair. It's like there's cash and someone's going home with more, but when you're playing with chips, everything is virtual. You can get lost. To even have, that process, that repeatable process of stopping and planning and thinking, even if you're in the casino, like thinking about the app and like, oh man, I did this in BTA Sports. It creates process, and that's something that really this industry doesn't have. And like companies like ours, we're going to be living in mushrooms for a while. You know, like shovel like crap on mushrooms. That's how they grow. But we're like the lion's mane. You know, it's like we're doing something that's really really cool, and you know, sooner or later we're going to be, you know, with the flowers and everyone else that, oh, they're not sports betting. They're a sports bettors company. This is a new sector. This is sports tech. Oh, you can plan around the data. Oh, I get it. Oh, it's like financial. Oh, like, and that's why everyone that we introduce BTA Sports, like we just get introduced to someone that's higher and higher and higher that says like, oh, you should talk to this person. And without getting into like, there's a lot of exciting things happening behind the scenes that we're going to be announcing over the next like month. And like this space is, like, in my opinion, about to explode. Like this sports tech space, this predictions, you know, within sports, beyond Kalshi and beyond just sentiment where you get, you know, yes or no. Is Trump going to be wearing a blue tie or a red tie? And you just guess, you know, you're right, you get money. I was in San Francisco. This is actually a funny story. At Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party. And I was talking to one of the Kalshi guys. And he was like, yes. And I was like, what? And he's like, it didn't go above 62 degrees today. I was like, what? He's like, he showed me a contract. He bet for 3 days it wouldn't go above like 62 or 63 degrees. And it was like when the sun was going down and like it was about to get cooler, and he just won money. Like he won money betting on the temperature not going above.
Yeah, it's like Super Bowl prop bets 365 days a year.
It's like it's temperature.
I don't understand how that's not. They did find out some people were cheating on that because there is stuff that it seems like you could be
data. So if whoever controls the data can, you know, you get to the source, you know, and then they're not like creating a false, you know, barometric, like, no, it's just somebody controlling the data, and they're like, hey, make that 2 a 3. Like, oh, okay. Like, you know, and then you control like billions of dollars being bet that way or whatever it is. Like, and that's the type of stuff that it's like the wild west right now, in my opinion. But like we're doing our little thing in our little space, and we continue to like iterate on what we already have, and each, like, our model's unified, so we can just plug sports in now, and just as long as we get the display right and the terminology right and we understand the sport right, like we can have odds. So it's one of the reasons why I'm going out to San Jose for a World Cup event tomorrow, and we have a demo for World Cup. It took us 1 day to get it in the app. So things are moving so fast.
Flexible.
Yeah, and you have to have a team, and I'm just a good salesman. Like I had the idea with my partner. He had the idea as well. But like the team is, you take me out. Like my team is like, they are, they're just awesome. Everyone has experience. They're just great. So
that's a data background, statistics, numbers. What is it? Tech.
Yeah, so we have so Tyler is the CEO. He was in startups for like 10 years before we started BTA Sports. One of our first hires was a kid out of I think Drexel, Matt Bailey. He created the model. Then after Matt, we hired Will and Patrick. Will was an investment banker at UBS. He kind of did like feature engineering on the side, like coding. He's like our full stack guy. Like he's crazy smart. So he started featuring our NFL models, and they started doing really well. So then we had the idea of presenting that data in the app, and we hired like a DevOps guy who was literally a DevOps for the Navy SEALs. Like his name's Patrick Leeper, Navy guy. Literally was on submarines while like people were doing missions. So he organizes everything, and you know, we have a team now around that core team. You know, whether or not we're bringing in Carnegie Mellon engineers, we have like a space in the company for them. Whether or not we're bringing in like a salesman, they may come to me and Jeremy, who is our director of social media. So we have everyone on our team has experience, and they have, you know, a lane that they're comfortable in, and they have a canvas, and I'm just like, go create, like just go do what you're good at.
Yeah.
And I learned, you know, look, Merrill Lynch, my old sort of life, finance is it was a great company, but like finance is like Mean Girls. There's a lot of looking over your shoulder. There's a lot of like performance metrics. There's a lot of just stress. There's a lot of responsibility that you have for clients, and when you're in the public space, so you have to watch everything you do because you're one email away from getting fired because everyone's watching everything. Like in this private space, like everyone's like-minded here. They all have experience. There's no drama. Like we want something in the app. Everyone's just like, how do we do it? Boom, it gets done. And
And that's also, red tape, big corporate, versus small.
Well, you need the experience to realize it, and it sucks. Yeah. It fucking sucks. Like it does. Yeah. Because it's like from someone like you and I, we're doing our thing right now. It's like we know it, but like for people that are living through it now that want to do something else, I would advise you to just do it. Like I woke up on a Monday in August and I quit a job that was very, very, very stressful to my family. Like my family thought I was having a midlife crisis, and maybe I was, but like I knew that this space could be a generational changer in my life.
You got to be able to live in uncertainty, and I haven't lived.
Like I said, I always see I start at the finish line. And then I put the pieces, and I saw something. I saw a need, and so did my neighbor Tyler. Like he saw a need as well. My business partner and CEO. Like he's we're 50-50 partners. He saw a need too. I mean, we started BTA Sports in my basement at a fantasy football draft. Like that's a true story. And that fantasy football draft, like last year, was sponsored by BTA Sports. We had the flags there and everything. So it's like come full circle where we were just trying to help users in fantasy. That's the sort of mission.
Is BTA going to help? Is that going to be able to help people in fantasy football, like from a season perspective, not from a, hey, this guy's going to get 75 plus yards?
So yeah, so we have our daily fantasy, our fantasy IQ is also patent pending. So we have a one-touch daily fantasy optimizer. So you can literally just one-touch a fantasy team, and it builds it right on the spot, kind of like a March Madness bracket optimizer. And we're also going to have those tools help you, with your at-home drafts for next year. So if you have an offline draft or you're doing something at ESPN, rather than using like ESPN analytics, like you can use our analytics, and we'll tell you, based on PPR leagues or whatever, because that was like the premise of like at the very beginning of BTA Source. We wanted to start as like a fantasy sort of informational like helper, because we thought that data could really help users in daily fantasy, because daily fantasy was exploding at the time. But we fell into the predictions markets because we were providing predictions on every single alternative line. And we started patent pending like every single thing that we ran into that was cool and new. And we have 4 patent filings now. So we're protected in a lot of the things that we're doing. And now we're in this like alternative line, sort of living in the gray area and helping people in that gray area. Yeah.
ESPN has had data for a while in their things, this percentage of win percentage and all of that stuff. Where do you know where they're pulling their data from?
I don't know, but I do know that they are a casino.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, so I think it's and it's like, but it's like when you think about it like that, like they're just averages. Like they're scraping data probably, and just like we do, but like their models only go to a certain point.
I think they should be their gambling should be a separate. Like to me, it's annoying that to watch Sports Center and all.
Like I don't understand like how, like we have, like I was talking to an NFL player. I will not say his name, but like he got a notification that he couldn't, or an email from the NFL saying like he couldn't. And this is last August. He couldn't be a part of the company because of like the sports betting, and I understand it, but like we're not sports betting, we're sports bettors, and now we're slowly being accepted in those circles. But like LeBron James is giving you picks on DraftKings. Like how is that possible?
Yeah.
How is he giving his NFL picks on DraftKings? Like explain that to me, and I'll tell you how. Like because LeBron James wants to. Period. Yeah. Like, and that's it. And so like if he's above, like that's not very responsible to me. That's the anti of responsibility. It's
Yeah.
like I just don't. It's like the speaking out of both sides of your mouth has to stop. Like you like get behind the data and get behind these AI companies because like it's happening. Like it's coming. It is a correction in the market that's coming. And I think the companies that embrace it and embrace the engagement are probably going to come out ahead most because they're going to attract the most users, whether they're gamblers or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think ESPN is like it was a combination of there's a lot of money in it for them if they get into this and start adding this, and then I think part of it is that the market called for it. I mean, there are people who want that, which is why I do think it should be separate from that. But they're also back in the day, like I would say, one of the things I hate about sports centers now, the ticker, and you know what happened before they even talk about it, and even in the beginning of them talking about it, they say, "All right, we're going to tell you now how the Thunder won." I'm like, back in the day, we wouldn't know. I'm watching the highlights. It's a close game. I'm like, who won? Obviously, if they're up by 40, you're like, all right.
You remember watching Sports Center like the 90s? Dude, it was great.
Yeah, it was much better.
Like I used to not watch the tape at the bottom because I didn't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like you used to have to like, because you would be surprised. Like, because that's what sports was. Like it was, the outcomes were teased all like in Sports Center all the way to like, and it got you every time. Like I kept coming back, man. Like Sports Center was so good in the 90s.
Yeah.
For that
think
reason.
Also with betting, like back in the day or even not that long ago, for me, betting is sort of like it's fun to have some skin in the game of watching. And it was cool to be able to say, I knew that was going to happen, or I had a good feeling that was going to happen. Is there some aspect of using an AI tool to like that it's sort of like cheating? It takes a little bit of the gambling out of it, like your involvement in it, and now you're making transaction.
Yeah, but we're trying to slow people down, so that's actually not a terrible thing. Because I find, and I use the app every day, I find I do the same exact thing in the app every day because I know my profile. So I look, and I can tell you, like I look for run lines plus 1.5 with a 75% probability with minus 200 odds. If I see those, I just put them into the risk analyzer. And then what I'll look at are like I just use my comments. I was like, if the Yankees are playing the Twins and like the Twins are like, I was like, okay, this is not like, maybe I think the Yankees are a little bit better. Like, then I'll start just like using my logic. And then oftentimes, like when I start implementing my own logic, I'm wrong. Like, because
we have biases. That's one of the things that I have terrible in fantasy.
Because you're like, oh, Boston's not going to win this game. They just lost 10 in a row. And like we had Boston winning and they won. It was last 2 days or 3 days ago. We had them winning. I was like, no, that can't be right. I was like, did you guys miss a minus sign somewhere? Like, and they're like, no, it's actually Boston. They won that game. It was like plus on the money line. I was like, huh. But that's the type of stuff where I have my own profile and I know exactly what I'm going to be doing every time I go in. And I know the calculations. It's going to give me a 60% probability with plus 130 odds. Every time I go in, I can create that scenario. And like if I'm on the fly, like I can just do it. And like it's data I wouldn't be able to interpret if I open up DraftKings because it's not there. Right. It's only the tool to make the bet. So you're just seeing all of the data and everything's live. Like everything is very dynamic. It's live. So everything is, we have a World Cup demo in the the dev app right now, but like in production, like it's all MLB. And, if you're looking at games at 145 starting and it's 140 now, like our model's just trained for that 140 and you're going to get the most accurate odds and predictions because our models are continuously training.
It's talk about the training. I'm a little surprised that the win rate is not higher. It's a good win rate. I'm surprised it's not higher. Do you anticipate that sort of steadily going up as the AI is learning, as there's more data?
Yeah. So in football, what we found, and it's happening for Major League Baseball too, as we train the model and as the season progresses, it gets more accurate and accurate and accurate. And now we're seeing that with Major League Baseball. It's starting to trend more accurate as we keep iterating on the model and training, because every season's new. But look, if you're anywhere like above 52, what is it, 52.5% against the spread, like that's successful. And that's like an edge that I guess like everyone uses in the market. And I'm not even sure that there's like a 5% vig on both sides. I'm not sure if it's 10 or whatever it is, because I'm not on that side where we're taking deposits. But yeah, I mean the model's accuracy right now is above like 60, probably no, 62. I'm trying to look at Instagram real fast because I know that we publish it. I just delegate that out. But from an analytics and a mathematical standpoint, it's very, very, very good. Just from an industry standard.
You have an idea. So you don't have any idea. You do have an idea because you see people clicking on a button to go into the bet. All right. So are you tracking what people are betting?
No, so we don't have,
because someone could just go use it and then bet at the actual book or bet on a different site.
Yeah, I mean, we know where every user is in our app, but we don't that's because obviously we're going to get analytics from users that are inside the app, but we don't share any of that with anybody. Yeah, and it's like there's like back-end software that just, because it's part of having an app, where users are, because you improve the areas, that's part of running the company. It's like listening to users and improving the area that they tell you to improve.
Yeah. Where is a lot of the action going? What data do people want to see? What are they looking at? What are they putting in the app?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are using the risk analyzer and the fantasy IQ. Really popular inside the app. So the only two things that we have a patent pending on inside the app itself, beyond the technologies, but the physical app, are the fantasy IQ, which is the daily fantasy optimizer, and the risk analyzer, which is the parlay tool we discussed. So both of those, we have data on. But the risk analyzer, people really, really love the risk analyzer, where they're creating bets and then visualizing the bet with the probability of the bet becoming successful. That's what people really love. And then having the ability to export that right to their FanDuel, if they have FanDuel or BetMGM, because that's what we have inside the app right now. BetMGM and FanDuel are BetSync. That's what people are really gravitating towards.
So they're trying to find maybe a long shot that has a better chance of hitting.
No, they're just trying to provide. They're trying to provide, like, we have a lot of data people in this. They're edges, like implied data, like implied edges. So if you look at, let's say you create a parlay, and inside our app, it gives you a 60% probability with plus 130 inside BTA's like estimated odds. Let's say you bet sync it and it goes to plus 160. Now the implied probability just went up 30 points. So you created a bet at plus 130. It was in our probability. Like, you should do that 60% probability. You bet synced it to FanDuel, and now it's plus 160. That's like right there. You don't even need to have a math degree to know, like, holy crap, I should make that bet. Like, and that's what people they're getting these implied, like they're doing that like right on the cusp, because they're creating these odds that they're satisfied with. And then they're bet syncing and they're getting better odds. Like, holy crap, like, cool. Like, yes, because we don't have the exact odds. Like, we have an estimated odds at FanDuel. So like our estimated odds is reverse engineered because we do not have a partnership with them. So we just have the odds like estimated at the sports books that you can bet them at. So when you sync a FanDuel bet with our probabilities, sometimes you're getting better odds there. So like, it's like that kind of stuff. That's not a long shot. Like, that's a recipe to win. And that's what we're seeing inside the app. People are creating these like edges where they're getting 65% probabilities, where it's like 150 or plus 105, or maybe even minus 110 because they're a little bit more risk averse. And then we see people maybe adding a Bryce Harper hit to really mess up their probability of that coming true, but their odds go up to like plus 400. So it's that layer of risk that, it's that the app provides that that's, of course, that's where users are, because it's the only two areas inside the app. You can use it to bet, help you bet, and you can use it to help you in fantasy.
What's the national average on bets on sports betting percentage
Winning,
wise?
I don't know.
Do you have an idea?
No, I don't. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if I have no idea. You could ask chat, maybe like 2 to 5%. I would guess somewhere around there that people win their bets. I don't know.
2 to 5%.
I don't know. I'm way off. Like
It's got to be better than that, I would think.
You would think. Like or maybe parlays. I forget what the
but parlays, that makes more sense. My point I'm trying to think of is, at some point as this gets better, if everyone's using it, could it bring down sports gambling? Is it going to be a point where
it's like not, because it's like you could theoretically do that to anything, because this is a human nature industry where, in my opinion, like, people will want this and people will use it for help. And then, like with addicts, because I'm an addict myself, recovering, so it's like I know what the feeling is like. Like, people are going to want to bet no matter what and lose because they just love it. And they don't know that they love it, but that's like they're programmed that way because of their addiction. And we're really trying to help, like I say, like, just stop, like, slow is fast. I always tell people that, like, if you just stop, you plan, you think, like, if you really want to bet money, you could have skin in the game. You can bet not using your gut, using the data, and you can still watch a game and cheer your ass off because you're winning or you're losing, and you can still be sad, but you're giving yourself the best opportunity with this data that, at least I know, like, you're just giving yourself the best odds.
Yeah, if you're going to do it.
Yeah, and if you're going to do it, do it. I mean, like, the guy that wants to drink, a case of beer at night is going to drink a case of beer at night. The guy who wants to go to the bar and have 2 beers because he wants to drink responsibly is going to go do that. Like, it's human nature. So not everyone is going to go down this path so that we recreate lines. Like, that's not, and I'm not looking to recreate lines. Like, I'm just looking to help. Like, and like, one of the VCs that we talked to a while back said, like, well, if you have the data, like, why share it? I'm like, I'm a sharer. Like, why hold it? It's lonely. Well, like,
so 65%.
Like Michael J. Fox from, like, Back to the Future 2 with the almanac going and betting.
Well, that's 100% odds. That's a little different. I get.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a sharer. I love talking to people. I love interacting. People do business with people. Like, this is what I want. So, like, I don't like I want to just give the data to anyone that wants to use it or finds value in it. And that to me, like, is gratifying enough, because, like, my partner and I are creating something cool that people are using. So it's like,
leg-wise, what's the biggest parlay you've won? Do you know?
I don't know. I definitely, like, so fun fact, when most of the parlays we post the wins of are mine. So, like, I'll just bet, like, and then the ones that, like, are really, like, good, or ones I win, and the ones I advertise well, I just, like, put on. But we're always posting, like, people, like, send their bets in, or people send their risk analyzer. Going back to that, like, cool social that we're creating inside the app soon, like, we're people are going to really be able to showcase, like, parlays that they create inside our risk analyzer, and then share them with the rest of the community.
Yeah, I just Googled real quick. It said, if you're an advanced bettor who hits 55% on single bets, which is very good, the chances of winning a 2-leg parlay drop to 30%, and then a 3-leg parlay goes down to 16%.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to hit that big one. They see that, but I mean,
well, it's, yeah. So, like, well, we have Amy Marola. She's our director of like, the brand. She's our brand ambassador. She's like, the brand is her. Everything goes through her. She created this, like, Instagram, sort of like the gambler, and then, like, the safe bettor, and then she's always the gambler. Like, she'll in, like, when she's doing app demos for people, she'll create parlays where it's like 15% chance of winning with, like, plus 2,000. And I'm just like, you can't do that. And she's like, yes, I can. She's like, and I'm gonna go, because that's how I use the app. She's like, I know that I'm probably gonna lose, but at least I'm gonna give myself, like, a 15% chance of winning.
Yeah, it's good to show. I think it's good for you guys to show the losses and sort of, like, where did it go wrong? This is what it said. This is what happened. because
Oh no, we
I
do.
don't trust anyone who only posts.
Yeah.
Their
No,
wins.
we post before. A lot of it's before. So
Yeah.
we like, so our best, like last week, our best bets went 3 for 3. Like, and that was before. Like we like it's every. I'm only posting bet slips after on our stories, but like all of our predictions are right, like are the day of usually, and Tuesdays and Fridays are our best picks because that's the best day on our model for some reason. I think that's the schedules usually just change over, and I think that has to do with it. But we're trying to find the reason for that. But Tuesdays and Fridays we do our best picks, like inside the Instagram, and they have done very well.
Yeah. What do you like to bet? You talked a bunch about baseball. Is that what's your favorite to bet?
My favorite's football because I understand it the most. For bettors, our biggest click-through rate is within the blog for baseball. Like we have a 20% click-through rate on our blog, which is like sickening high because people really like to read about baseball. So the app is doing really well because you can really get into the data and the analytics of baseball. But for me, it's
the biggest analytic data.
Yeah, baseball and hockey, believe it or not. But yeah. So I was, yeah, baseball and hockey. I was at BBYO event in Philly, and they had that slide up, and it was like, holy crap, didn't know that. But for me, it's football. Like I'm just a football guy.
I like. It's so tough to. Do you like
And
doing
basketball.
against the spreads or a confidence?
So what I found, at least this past NFL season, and we have we call them categories that do better than others. So every category is like stolen bases is a category. Like our stolen bases and home runs are actually pretty accurate this year, predictions wise. But like we'll have certain categories that do better than others, and like running back receptions, we killed it this year, like last year. So like I would bet I would find the model in like ETN or someone that like just has like 2 or 3 catches a game, and I would always bet like 1.5 over 1.5. And like our probability was like 80%, 80%, 80%, minus 250, minus 250. So it was the same odds I was looking for that I was telling you about before, but I was just applying it to an area that I knew that we were, pretty good on. And that's like but the users have access to that because we post our dashboards, we have best edges, like so it is if you've been with us since the beginning and you follow on the blog, you know all of it. But it's just exciting now that we're finding ways to get that to the user.
Right. What do you got? I'm a big collectible guy. What do you got sitting behind you? See some bobbleheads.
So
cards.
So that is my favorite 2 sets are 1981 Topps and 1984 Don Ross. So those are like Chad Mint 8, 9s, and 10s of 81 Topps and 84 Don Ross. Here's Joel Embiid signed ball with everyone from the process, right where the BTA sticker is on that ball.
Yeah.
Julius Erving and everyone from that era is on that ball. Jerry Stackhouse is on that ball down there. I have a ball somewhere over here. I'm big memorabilia.
If you only keep one, what are you keeping?
What's that?
If I keep everything else for one.
So probably the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so this guitar right here is a piece of it's a very nice guitar from the Hard Rock gift basket I won from Aaron Knowles' charity event. So I think that's pretty cool. The story there, I was at a final table with Jesus Luzardo and Kylie Kelsey. She placed 7th and I placed 8th. And she got a box of electronics and I got a Hard Rock gift basket with a guitar. So it's like I actually so like after the tournament like we had a pick between these prizes for like the final table people that placed like 6 to 10.
Yeah.
And she was 8th and I was 7th, and she took the phone out of the stack of electronics and then nothing else. And I was like, well, like you're Kylie Kelsey, I'm taking her electronics. Like there was like a stack of electronics. And I like pushed them over to the Hard Rock basket. And like she looked at it, I was like, I'm taking them. And she's like, okay, fine. So she let me take them. And I'm actually looking at like one of these smart photos is one of them. Like there was They have
Yeah, it's gotta
tablets,
be pretty good.
yeah, and like this uh, a Bluetooth speaker, and it like floats. And I don't even have a pool, but like it's like this, like
You'll
it's
be at a
really good.
pool.
It's one of those new ones.
Sure.
And but it was a cool story. So like I put the guitar there and I put a BTA sticker on it, but it's literally like $100 guitar. I thought it was like a Fender, and I opened it, I was like, oh man.
Is it signed by someone?
No, it was like in a gift basket for $1,000 worth of everything. So and we're really hooked up. Like I got a free couple nights there. We got a free show. We got $150 Nobu gift card for dinner.
Perfect.
And I got Kylie Kelsey's electronics, and she has a burner phone. So that's
That's a good trade-off.
Story for the night.
We're going to let you out of the Wolff Den with the same question everyone gets. You can spend 24 hours with anybody in the world. They have to be alive, and you can't be related to them. Who would you choose, and what would you guys do?
I'm sorry. I'm going to probably lose a bunch of fans here. Joe Rogan for me.
Rogan.
Rogan, yeah. I mean, the best conversationalist in the world, and just no matter what he's talking about, he's always right to the point, and I really like that about him.
Don't you feel like it's possible that he doesn't really believe a lot of what he says, and some of it's just to make a point? And
maybe I believe that's like that's the beautiful part about him.
Yeah,
that he's like a LeBron. You know, there's going to be haters, and there's going to be people that love him, and then there's going to be people that it's just when I listen to an interview, and I've listened to so many of it, his points are always similar, just in terms of like what he believes, and he's very curious, and that's all I really care about. Like people that love to learn and people that are curious, that's all. Like I don't care about his politics because I hate all politicians equally.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I don't.
Except for Josh Shapiro, like the governor, he's a very cool guy. But like if you have that mindset where you don't hate him equally, but you just like, I'm not in politics and I don't know what I don't know there, so I don't even try to get involved.
Yeah.
I listen to his interview style and I like it. I just like how he's curious.
Well, his stand-up is great. He's very funny at stand-up. His comedy is great. I don't listen to his show because he's not my cup of tea. But he would be a very interesting person to sit down with. It'd be great to sit down with.
Like I didn't say Elon Musk, so I just want and it would never be Trump, because like I always judge someone on whether or not I would want to work with him or work for him, and the answer is no. It's like no for Musk.
What would you want to do with Rogan? Obviously, you have conversations, but is there like an activity that you think would be cool?
I don't know. Like my goal, like in life, would be to get on this podcast someday with BTA Sports and what we're doing. But like that's not like, I don't think that's untenable. But like I don't like he's always been he's always been a great communicator, and I just, for me, communication is so important, because if you're communicating with silence, if you're communicating with any other form other than language, like you can learn from that.
I agree with you. There's something about being able to have a following. Like it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Like as much as I hate Trump,
yeah, exactly,
he has got a huge following. Whatever he's doing is working for some set of people, and there's a ton of people who are like-minded like him who don't have the type of following crowds that he has. So someone who has the ability to engage with an audience and get them, it's impressive one way or any way you look at it. Now, whether you want to be in that room and listen to that stuff or have that conversation, that's a different story. I think.
Well, any politician, the answer is categorically no. But
I think Rogan's interesting to most people, even if they don't. I'm not a fan of him, but I do find him interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's all. I mean, like, interesting is better than, I'd rather be. Like for me, I'd rather be like, if I had a choice, Obama or Trump, like I would take Obama every single day of the week. Like, and there's no, but if I had a choice between Anderson Cooper and Joe Rogan, I would take Joe Rogan every day of the week. So there's like, there's levels of politics where if you want to make sort of your point and create a narrative a certain way, you can, just like I did there.
That'd
But
be
like,
tough for me. I might pick Anderson, but I do like.
I know, but like,
he
you can
does
see
seem
what
very
I'm saying.
interesting to
Yeah,
me.
but then
Well,
that would
Anderson seems interesting
automatically put you in a category.
Yeah,
Like, and I would know that.
Anderson seems interesting outside of his politics too, but that's anyway. We could have a whole nother show about this stuff. I want the audience to know where they can find you, where they can download, and maybe a special treat if they send a message to you or me with the code word Rogan. If you watch this and do that, we'll give you a free week trial.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rogan's the keyword. You got to message it to us, either one of us. You can find us anywhere. But
and I will send those codes to Matt, and then you can send them out to your users. And I promise you get inside a week of our app. Like, you don't need to keep it, but it's really cool. You'll find it really cool.
And there's a huge amount. I mean, most people who download it, they continue to use it.
So we have a 95%. Literally 95% retention. We have less than a 5% churn inside the app.
Very
so
good.
When people come in and they see it, they stay, because you can listen, you can move, you can do a lot of stuff inside the app.
So BTA Sports at
btasports.io.
Okay.
For input output, it's a tech thing. I know. I know.
I think if you do BTA Sports, you'll find.
I know we had to be difficult. And then also blog.btasports.io. We just hired Gio Hamilton. He's part of the BTA crew now. Everyone knows Gio. And he was at Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party. Big Super Eagles fan. And he's going to be our NFL correspondent. So, he has his first article written on the blog. And Jeremy Lyons, he was the social coordinator at Bet365. We plucked him from there. He rates all of our MLB content. So that is not a large language model. That is actually humans in there writing every single day. So,
very good. Well, you guys got exciting things coming on. So stay tuned for big announcements in the next month or so. And football season coming up. Rogan, keyword Rogan, get yourself a free week trial.
Yeah, maybe me and Matt, I'll take on with me.
You'll go
maybe
on.
he'll change your mind. Just joking. I'm joking. I don't care. Like, you just asked. Like, it would be really cool to have a conversation.
No, I agree. Look, we've had people have said Trump, and they've said other people, and sometimes it's like the Howard Stern.
Trump would be so fucking boring.
You want to talk to someone who you don't understand, right? I mean, you want to pick someone you don't understand, or you don't.
It's like, what are you trying to do, Trump? Be like, world domination. Okay, cool. Like, it's like, all right. So, yeah.
We'll see you at an event soon. We'll have some collaborations, hopefully, in the works. And btasports.io.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Great to chat with you.
All right, take care. Have a good one.